Navigational warnings give mariners early information of important activities or incidents that might be a danger to navigation. Navigational warnings are often about a temporary activity or circumstance, but others could be a preliminary warning and could end up as a notice to mariners or chart correction. Examples of navigational warnings would include buoys and lighthouses not functioning as charted or newly installed buoys, floating dangers like containers that have fallen off a ship, drifting buoys and icebergs, vessels aground in approaching port areas, strong wind warnings. All navigational warnings should be checked to see if they affect the ship, and they should be posted where they can be seen. Many major ports have a vessel traffic management system. This system is similar to air traffic control, and individual ships are monitored by the port. This monitoring involves the ship itself sending messages that include its position, condition, speed and estimated time of arrival at the port. Automatic Identification System, (AIS), is used to assist ships in avoiding collisions, and ports in monitoring traffic and ensuring better surveillance of the sea. Make sure yours is switched on. The vessel must have and use the smallest scale nautical chart, with the most details, for port entry. If the vessel does not have the required charts, the charts have to be delivered to the vessel and the passage plan laid on it before the ship can enter the port. If your vessel has an electronic chart display information system, the port charts file can be uploaded into relevant computer. Having current information for the port and approaches is useful not just while the ship is underway into and out of the port, it will also be of use on deck when the seamen are tending to the moorings. Make available a tide table for the port a day or two beyond the expected duration of stay. Remember, the engine has been chugging along and ahead perhaps for weeks and perhaps under engine room control. We should make sure the engine will respond to bridge control and operate astern propulsion when required. That is done before the pilot embarks and the vessel enters the port. The master, knowing the speed of the vessel, marks on the chart 1 hour notice to engine room. At this time the engineers are notified and they start preparing the engine for maneuvering. A ship's journey can be divided into 3 main parts. Part 1 is, the ship leaves the berth and is maneuvering through the port to the open sea. When the pilot disembarks, vessels can start the sea passage. At this time the vessel's engines are set at the desired speed for the voyage to the destination. The time when this occurs is noted in the deck log and bridge movement book as full away on passage, FOP. As the vessel is approaching the destination, the ship is stopped and the engines are tested astern. Remember, the engine has been chugging along and ahead perhaps for weeks. It is prudent to check that the engines will function astern before embarking the pilot and entering the port. The time when this occurs is noted in the deck log and bridge movement book as end of passage, EOP. We have already mentioned checking the bridge control of the engines and the astern propulsion. While the vessel is stopped, we check the steering function and should time how long it takes for the rudder to go from hard over one way to hard over the other way. We also check that the whistle is functional and ready to make maneuvering sound signals if necessary. These sound signals are detailed in the IRCs and other lessons. Pilots will usually embark the ship at least 2 miles from a channel entrance. The pilot tells the master information about the passage to the berth and berthing. The master should be interested in information like the minimum under keel clearance on the route to the berth and if there are any other vessel movements that will affect the ship. The master tells the pilot about the maneuverability of the ship, especially steering and speed characteristics. We also check that the correct flags and signals are displayed. The customary basic protocols for flags on ships are detailed in another lesson in this section. Check that the daylight signal lamp is functional and ready to make maneuvering light signals, if necessary.